Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shri Studios LCC Yoga, Monday evening Vinyasa Flow Yoga. Hope everybody's doing well and you've had a good Monday. And I hope you're looking forward to your yoga practice. Thanks for being here this evening. We will be using a strap, and a block might be handy. Certainly is always a helpful tool, so you can grab that. And then, as always, a blanket, which is multi-purpose. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I've changed a couple of things around with how I'm accessing Facebook Live. So if you're out there and you can hear me or you can't hear me, let me know either way. Drop a comment. And that way I can try to get it sorted if it's not working. Along with your strap and your blanket and your block, it may be handy for you to be near a wall. We'll be doing a balancing posture called Utthita Padangusthasana, which essentially is you're holding your hand, or you're holding your foot with one hand and potentially extending the other arm out to the side. And it might be nice to have that wall nearby to just kind of brace yourself a little, or use it as a balance support. That's what our strap will be used for as well. Kind of lasso your extended foot, open it out to the side. And so for sometimes that's a real balancing one. And so a wall can be handy. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. It is 5 o'clock here, and I think we're good to go. I'm just checking on the app on the old cell phone to make sure that it's working, and it is. Wonderful. Love it when the technology is working the way we want it to. I've had my share of snafus over the past couple of days, so it's always such a relief when it works out. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Gina. Happy Monday. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you, everybody in this LCC and Shri community, for being part of this community. We are so grateful to you. Namaste and welcome to your yoga practice. If you just kind of got here, please take your time and situate yourself. You can position yourself near-ish to a wall. That may be handy for you later on. And then gathering your props. We will be using a strap, and a blanket and a block can be handy as well. And again, if you're just getting here, also, once more, take your time. Let yourself kind of settle into your practice. I know that in the new way that we're practicing yoga these days, we may not be like bustling into the studio right at 59 like I sometimes am. And so we might not have that like rushed feeling of getting to yoga. But if you're working from home, if you just got off like, a Zoom call or something, and you're still having that kind of sense of buzzing energy or some kind of urgency, please let yourself just get settled in, right? I'll allow a couple of nice big exhalations go as you're getting situated here. Let some of that energy go. And if you haven't had that kind of day and you've just been looking forward to your yoga all day, that's cool too. We will begin in a comfortable seated position. And I always like to sit up on my blanket when I sit, and I like to find Sukhasana, easy seated pose, with one heel in toward the pelvis and then the other heel in front of that, okay? And if you're choosing to sit in this position or even like a cross-legged position, take a moment to notice how your body might go into a habitual pattern. Did you automatically pick the one that you always pick? Just notice that. And then if you did pick that habitual pattern, switch it, okay? For me, sitting with my left leg in front always feels a little bit awkward. And so I think it's good to play with that a little, okay? Our theme for practice this evening is the way that we do anything is the way we do everything. And so I'd like to explore that theme, that kind of quote or idea, as we move and breathe in familiar poses, in maybe less familiar poses, and see if we can approach anything that we do on our mats with an open mind and an open heart, that centeredness, and notice how we arrive in the various poses that we do, not with expectations or criticisms, not telling ourselves like, okay, got to do this with my arms, this with my feet, this with my head, just check, 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 but allow yourself to kind of arrive in the pose with that open mind and that open heart. Okay? So settle into your seat. You can bring your hands onto your lap and close down your eyes. Let's take a few clearing breaths together. So inhale through your nose, let your shoulders shrug up toward your ears. And exhale, open mouth. Let your shoulders melt. Again, inhale, shoulders shrug up, sides of the body get long. Exhale, shoulders release. Breath can go. One more time. Deep breath in, biggest one yet. And biggest breath out. And let yourself settle in here. Let your torso kind of drift a little bit back in space so your shoulders stack over your hips. Let the back of your skull pull a little bit back as well, so your ears are over your shoulders, and your spine is nice and long here. Add just a little tuck of the chin toward the chest to lengthen out through the back of your neck. And start to notice your breath even more. Maybe those clearing breaths help to kind of center yourself a little bit already. Maybe you're starting to slow down your breath. Maybe you've gone right away to that Ujjayi pranayama, the victorious breath with lips sealed, breathing in and out through your nose. And if that feels comfortable for you, dive right in. If you're still exploring your breath, just notice how it's moving through you. And then let's start to lengthen the breath a little bit and start to bring it into the body even more. So you can seal your lips without clenching anything, just the lips are sealed, but jaw is soft. Breathe in through your nose. and out through your nose. Again, just like that. Breath in through the nose, and a breath out through the nose. Notice if it's getting stuck anywhere, if the breath feels rhythmic, or it's kind of stopping and starting. Let's see if we can smooth it out. So with the next inhalation, let's begin in the belly. Let your belly expand outward as you breathe in, and let the breath continue to move up your body, expanding into your ribs and up into your lungs, up to your chest. And then exhale, let the chest release, let the ribs draw in, and let the belly draw in. Inhale, feel the belly expand, and then feel the breath rise into the lungs again and at the sides of your body as well. Let it continue to move up and maybe spread across your collarbones. And then exhale through the nose, let the chest release, the diaphragm releases and draws back up, and the belly hugs in. Inhale, continue to breathe as we have, but now bring your awareness through the back of your body as well, maybe visualizing your breathing into the space of your low back. Feel the breath continue to rise up the back of the body, the sides of the body, and the front. And then exhale, let it wash back down. Let's take one more. And then inhale and circle your arms overhead. Let's exhale, drop the right hand down, reach the left arm across. Give yourself a nice side body stretch on the left side. Inhale, rotate your chest upward, let your gaze follow. And then exhale, let your body turn down, let your hands travel down and out in front of you. Let's pause here, folding over the legs. You don't have to try to reach very far, especially if you're noticing your sitting bones pulling off of your blanket. You can either lean into that and just drift off of your blanket, let your pelvis kind of slide forward, or back out of that forward bend a little bit so that your sitting bones are connected. Okay? Again, we're just sort of exploring the habits and how the body moves in that habitual way. Let's take another breath in and out. Let's inhale, come back up to center, walk your hands back in, and let's switch the feet out once more. So maybe you're back to your kind of more familiar pattern. And then inhale, let your arms circle over your head. And exhale, bring your left hand down and reach your right arm across. So opposite side. We're probably going to end up being, backward from one another. So just listen along to the rights and the lefts and let yourself do both sides in these side poses. Inhale and rotate your chest open and up and lift your gaze up toward the ceiling. And exhale, let yourself come out in front and fold over your legs once more. And maybe this time walk yourself in a little bit so that you can bring your forearms down, let your head release down. And then start to lift yourself up and walk your hands in. Exhale your breath when you make it back to your seat. Let's take one more breath in and out. Great, and let's come off of our seat and onto our hands and knees. Finding our way into a tabletop position. And let your body move in the ways that feel good. Explore those habitual patterns of movement and notice how they feel great. Sometimes your body's intuition leads you into movements that feel good, that you know are going to feel good and kind of nourish your body. Give yourself a lot of rotation through your trunk and spine, especially if you've been doing a good bit of sitting today. Start to loosen up around the hips and shoulders. You can kind of take this figure eight type of motion in your shoulders and hips. Linking these movements up with your breath. And start to drift back to our neutral tabletop, drawing the belly in a bit. Tuck the toes under, press down through your palms and forward through the crown of your head. Okay, this is our tabletop position. And then on the inhalation, let your belly drop. Lift your head and your tail, let your shoulders come together a bit at the back of the body, opening across your chest here. And then with your exhale, hug the belly in. Feel your pelvis tilt back, your tailbone drops toward the floor, and press up through your spine. Let your head drop. Let's inhale, come back through cow pose. The pelvis tilts forward. We lift the head and tail and open across the chest. And then exhale, pull in from the belly first. Let that guide the motion. Feel the tailbone drop down, ripple up through the spine, stretch the skin on your shoulders, and press up through the back of your heart while you press down through your palms. Let's press the tops of the feet down this time here, kind of get that full cat pose effect. And then with your next inhale, one more cow pose. Tuck the toes under, belly drops, head and tail lift. And the next exhale, draw the belly in. Feel that rippling up through the sides of your body and press up into cat pose. Inhale, come back to neutral. And exhale, you can tuck your toes back under or keep your feet flat down, up to you, but we're going to focus more on the wrists. So let's start to rotate the hands inwards. You can turn your fingers in and your thumbs out. And let your body rock from side to side and sort of around as well. And if you find kind of that sweet spot as you're kind of drifting your weight back and that feels good, you might want to stay or just take these little pulses front to back. Come back to the breath once again, letting it move all the way up your body to the sides and to the back and all the way back down to the front and the sides and the back of your body. And then let's walk the hands back out to where they started from. And let's take the hands inward now. So flip your palms up to face you and your fingers point in. If you want to do this one at a time in the hands or them together, you can. Maybe you want to walk your hands in toward your body and lean back. That might decrease the sensation or increase it, kind of depends on how much additional movement you add in. But maybe you want to keep your hands back out in front and just sort of under your shoulders and rock from front to back as well in the hips. Again, there's not necessarily rights and wrongs with a lot of these, but we might feel that there is, right? Because it becomes a pattern, right? And this is the way I do it. And this is how it feels good, right? I know this. And so we just kind of come back to those same patterns. Just exploring that. And then let's release the hands and let's come into toes pose for a moment to totally get off the hands. Tuck your toes under and you can sit anywhere in between, whether you're like me, you're sitting on your heels or you're like all the way up or somewhere in between. Let's take light fists with the hands and just roll them in both directions. Okay, clockwise, counterclockwise. Let your hands come down at your sides and let your shoulders get into the action as well. And same thing, let them go kind of open and close. So you're getting different movement. And then kind of open up your hands a little bit and continue with that rolling through the wrists. Settle into your toes pose, staying here. Let's bring the right hand out in front of us with the fingers down. Let your left hand come gently to the top of the hand and press in. Breathe out here, shoulders release. Flip your fingers up, gently draw your fingers back with your left hand. Try to keep the shoulders loose and down the back. Breathe in and out. And then we'll find a little bit of rotation here. You'll press on the kind of the top of the thumb pad and rotate at the wrist here. So now your palm's kind of facing out in front of you generally, and your left hand is helping to twist. Be gentle, right? Doesn't have to be a full-on torque of the wrist, but getting a little bit of that rotation from the wrist kind of up into the shoulder as well. And then we're going to take the reverse of that. So now your fingers are going to take the meat of your thumb and rotate out the other way. So now your forearms are pointing out away from you and your palms are kind of doing the same. Take a deep breath in and out. If you're suffering in this toes pose, make it a little easier on yourself. Just come out of it. We're halfway. Or a quick break. Take your hands apart and shake out your arms and your hands. And then let's do all of that on the other side. So your right hand is going to press down on the top of your hand on the left side, and the fingers point down. And then we'll flip the fingers up, gently draw them back with your right hand. We did a lot of this when we were on our hands, so it doesn't have to be terribly aggressive unless it feels great. So do the best version of that for you. Let your breath go, and let's find that rotation now. So your right thumb is going to kind of press on the top of your left thumb and rotate the left palm away from you, okay? So your left arm is rotated in, your elbow is generally pointing out to the side or a little bit up. Take a breath in and out, and then let's reverse that. So now your right fingers are going to pull gently on the meat of your left thumb, and you'll rotate open. Palms up, forearms up, chest open. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release that. Come all the way off of your knees, and then back down onto your hands or your knuckles. Knuckles can be a good substitute for palms down. Lift your feet up, shake them out, and then if you want to, you can tap them on your mat. Always need a little bit of shaking them out first. All right, come to stillness there. Let's do one cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head and tail. Exhale, pull the belly in, feel the low belly engagement as you move in and up to cat. Inhale back to neutral. And exhale, make your way into downward facing dog. Toes tuck under, hips move back. Give yourself some nice organic movements here, pedaling your feet or rocking side to side. Again, explore what motions you gravitate to most naturally. What's your first instinct in these organic movements? Maybe add in something new. Maybe shake out your head. Maybe open your hips completely. If that's not something you normally do, it might feel great. Okay, let's take another big breath in and out, and make your way back into your downward facing dog. Stillness here. Maybe add a little bend into your knees. Stay committed to that position in the upper body. Plug the thumbs and index fingers into your mat. See if you can draw the shoulders down the back. Let the hips move a little bit more back in space if it's available, kind of lengthening out your torso. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale and look up toward the top of your mat. Exhale, step walk or hop your feet there. Let's all inhale and lift halfway up. And exhale, release back down. Bend your knees a lot. Let your belly and your chest kind of droop down over your thighs. And let the tops of your hands come down into your mat and release your head. Just a pretty luxurious forward bend here. Let everything kind of melt off your shoulders and out through your head. Take a deep breath in and out. Let's start to activate here. Draw the belly in. Bring yourself back up to more of a halfway lift. We're still in this forward bend, but a little bit more lengthened out through the chest here. Bend your knees. Lower your seat. Lift your arms out, around, and overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to the sides of your body and around to the front of your heart. Anjali Mudra, palms together here. And just focusing on our standing position for a moment here. You can look down at your feet if you'd like. Let them be pointing forward in the toes, and heels are pointing back, about hip distance apart. And let's imagine you're kind of splitting the mat in two here. Imagine you're kind of pulling your feet away from one another, and that might give you some activation in the outer hips. Okay, let's let the tailbone draw down, open across the chest. Take another breath in, and out. Great. Release your hands down at your side. Let's inhale, circle them overhead, and exhale, bring your right hand down and your left arm across for a side bend here. Keep your feet rooted, especially the left foot. It might try to peel away. Hug the lower belly in. You're giving yourself core support here in these side bends. Turn the right palm out. Inhale, draw it up, and let it meet overhead. Exhale, left hand down, right arm across. Again, drawing the belly in, seeing if that can give you a little bit of lift and then more space to move into your side bend. Left palm turns out. Imagine you're kind of drawing the air up alongside you. With this exhale, let's bend the elbows and open across the chest. Great. Inhale, return the arms high. Exhale, bend the knees, lower down to a forward bend. Let's take the feet out wide here. Toes out, heels in, come into Malasana. We'll integrate this into our flow. So we won't be here too long, but by all means, support yourself as you need. But it might feel nice to rock side to side. Let your feet take up a little bit more of that surface area as the plantar fascia, the sole of your feet fascia starts to spread. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let your elbows press into your knees and try to draw your thumbs down a little bit toward your chest. You're opening here. And then settle into stillness through the feet. Let's take a breath in and out. Let your left hand come down to the floor a little away and up of the left toes. And lift your right arm up, opening your chest to the right. Exhale, lower that hand down, lift your left arm up. And you're balancing out with the right hand down on the floor here. Left hand comes back down. Let's lift the hips, turn the toes forward and heels back. Inhale, lifting gently up to a halfway lift. And exhale, release. Let your feet walk back in to that hip distance. Link your thumbs together here. Bend your knees. Let's inhale. Rise all the way up. Give yourself a bit of a back bend here at the top. And exhale, release your hands. Swan dive forward and down. Plant your hands and step your feet back into a plank pose. Take a breath in and out. And then press through the backs of your heels. Draw your belly in. Puff up through the back of your heart. One more time, breathe in. And then let's exhale, bend the knees. Tip forward a bit, bend your elbows lower all the way down here onto the chest and belly. Extend the legs back. Press through your feet and hips. Inhale, ripple up for baby cobra. Little to no weight in the hands. Gently tuck the chin a little bit. Let's exhale, release, tap the forehead down. Twice more. Inhale, rippling up, rounding through the belly, through the tops of the feet. Exhale and release. Once more. Inhale, lifting up and away. Hug your navel in here. Notice any changes that offers you in your Bhujangasana, your cobra pose. And then exhale and release. Tuck your toes under. Peel yourself away from the mat. Knees wide, big toes touch. And release into child's pose. Start to smooth out your breath here, finding that rhythm once again. Come back to that place of centered openness, open mind, open heart in the practice here, noticing the breath moving fluidly through the body. Let's start to find a little bit of movement here. Let's walk the hands all the way over to the right. Your right hand might come off of your mat a bit. Let's bring the left hand on top of the right hand. Stretch out through the left side of your body. Breathe in and out. Come back through center and over to the other side. Hands off to the left. And then bring your right hand on top of your left and let your right outer latissimus dorsi, this muscle at the kind of back and side of your body, just to the right of the armpit essentially. Draw back down toward the mat. That muscle group is actually quite large. It spans like all of the back. So it moves down toward the low back in kind of a triangular fashion. Nice big muscle at the back of the body. Breathe in and out. Let's inhale, come back through center. Lift ourselves back up and into downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Inhale, lift the right leg, extend through your heel, keep your toes pointed down and your hips neutral heel here. Exhale, draw the knee in toward the chest, move toward that kind of lunge prep position where we're hovering here. The knee draws in toward the chest, belly draws in, and then step the right foot down. Lower your left knee down onto your mat. Here we are in a low lunge. Inhale, arms come overhead. Vinyasa. Shoulders and hips melt. Breathe in and out. One more time. And then exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. Lift your left knee. Plant your left hand down under your shoulder or use a block. And inhale, twist your right arm up. Lunge twist here, letting your belly move toward the inner right thigh. Active back leg as the hamstring lifts. Turn the gaze upward. Breathe in and out. Lower the top hand down. Let your gaze shift forward. Press into the right foot. Step your left foot in and forward bend. Let's inhale, lift halfway up. Hands drawing to the thighs. Shoulders roll out to the back. Exhale, release back down. Bend the knees. Wink the thumbs. Inhale, root to rise. Smooth your arms overhead, giving yourself that back bend. Exhale, release the hands, fold back down. Take your feet out wide, toes out, heels in, lower the seat into Malasana. Palms together, elbows pressing into the insides of the knees. Breathe in and out. Release your left hand down and open the right arm up, twisting your chest to the right. Release the right hand down and find the other side. Left arm up, right arm down. And release the hands, lift the hips, turn the toes forward. Let's lift halfway up and release back down. Move back with the left foot, back to that low lunge. Breathe in here, lifting onto the fingertips. Left inner thigh moves toward right inner thigh. And exhale, step the right foot back, Phalakasana, plank pose. Let's stay here a moment. Breathing in and out. And then let's spin over to Vashisthasana, side plank. Move the left hand to center. Spin open to the side plank to the right. Step your right foot down in front of you. Lift your left hip away from the mat. Right arm high, gaze shifts upward. Breathe in and out. Let's lower the top hand down. Move to the other side. So right hand to center. Spin over to the other side. Left arm lifts. Your feet might start staggered. And then bring your left foot a little bit in front of you, kind of toward the middle of the mat. But enough to just give you some leverage. Lift up through the bottom hip. And open your chest, lift your gaze. Breathe in and out. Lower the top hand down, spin back to your Phalakasana, plank pose. Breathe in and out. And let's bend the knees, tip forward, bend the elbows, lower your torso as a unit. Hugging the elbows in toward the sides of the body. Press down through the hips and the tops of the feet. Let's inhale for Bhujangasana, maybe a little higher. Pressing into the hands here. Shoulder blades draw together, chest is open. Exhale and release. Toes tuck under. Peel yourself away, let your hips hover over your heels for a moment. Breathe in. Exhale, lift up and back, downward facing dog. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, lift your left leg, extend through the heel. Toes point down, left outer hip draws a bit down. And then exhale, pull the knee in toward the chest. Puff up through the back of the heart here, even lifting the hips a bit. Hovering, hugging the knee in, feel the lower belly engage. And then exhale, step the foot down into our lunge here. Lower the right knee. Inhale, arms circle overhead, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Shoulders melt down, hips melt down. Soften through your face and reconnect with your breath. Pull the lower belly in, feel the lowest ribs kind of knit toward one another, giving yourself a little bit more stability in the trunk. Let's breathe in once again, And then exhale, let your hands release down, lift the back knee, lift up through the back hamstring, and twist to your left. So right hand will stay down, left arm lifts, and we twist the chest over to the left side. One more breath in and out. Lower the top hand down, shift your gaze forward towards your feet. Hug the low belly in. Weight this left leg, really let it press into your mat. Lighten the back leg and you bring it forward to a forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, release. Link the thumbs, maybe taking the opposite grip this time as you have been. Bend your knees. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up. Open across the chest. Exhale, release your hands, flow back down. And again, we'll take the feet wide. Heels in, Malasana. And down into your squat. Palms together to start. Reminding our hips of that opening. And letting our chest open up as well to lengthen the spine. Take a breath in and out. Left hand lowers down to the mat. Right arm lifts with the breath in. Shift the gaze over to the right. And exhale, other side. Right hand down, left arm up. And release. Lift the hips, turn the toes forward, wiggle your feet back into hip distance. Let's lift halfway once more. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back. Let's pause here in our lunge. And then plant the left, or move the left foot back, plant it as well. We'll move through another round of side planks. Left hand comes to center, spin over, opening yourself to the right side of your mat. You can keep your feet staggered. You can bring the right foot down in front of you like we did last time, or maybe lift the right foot up. Playing with that bit of challenge here, lifting the left foot away from the floor. Breathe in and out. Let's move to the other side. Right hand to center. Spin over to the left. Stagger feet. Left foot in front. Or take a side plank with the left leg lifted. Really draw the right upper arm bone into the socket. You're connected and firm there. Left leg lifts. And then we release back to plank pose. And we'll move through Chaturanga Dandasana here if you'd like. Otherwise, you can come to the knees first and move through your transition. But from your plank pose, we'll inhale and tip forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Let them point straight back. Low plank, mid plank. Inhale, press into the feet. Lift the chest, open across the chest. And exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Inhale, lift the right leg and extend through the heel. Exhale, pull the knee in and hover. Press through the palms, lift. And then exhale, step the foot down. Let's keep the back knee lifted right away. Feel free to widen your stance a little bit. We'll come into a high lunge. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Wrists over shoulders. Shoulders over hips. Let the left outer hip move a little bit forward here. Finding just a little bit of that gentle rotation so now the shoulders are pointing forward also. Take a breath in and out. Let's breathe in together and then exhale, twist to your right, left arm forward, right arm back. Belly hugs in. Give yourself that stability from the base of the trunk. Inhale, return your arms overhead. Exhale, let them go down to the floor. Straighten your right leg and step your back foot in a bit. Parsvottanasana, intense side stretch. Bring your right hand to your right hip and press your pelvis toward the middle of your mat. Back toes can angle out toward like 10 or 11 on your imaginary clock. Let's lift gently up. And then exhale and release. Let the crown of your head drop down. If you want to use your blocks here because your arms don't really comfortably meet the floor, go ahead and bring the floor up to you with 1 or 2 blocks. If it's just one, maybe the left side will do and your right hand can kind of rest on your foot or shin. Take another breath in and out. And then rebend through your right knee, walk your back foot back a bit. And let's rise up for Virabhadrasana 1. Again, we want the pelvis to move toward the middle of the mat. So you might be letting that left outer hip come forward a bit, but press into the outer edge of the back foot. Left leg is nice and strong. Our chest is pointed forward here. Breathe in and out. One more time, breathe in. With this breath out, let's release the hands down and let's start to transition. So pivot on the ball of the back foot, step the right foot back, Phalakasana, our plank pose. Side plank to the right, once again. Any variation will do. Stack feet, staggered, foot in front. If you'd like to kind of play, maybe bring your index and middle to the big toe and maybe stick your leg out to the front. I'm yet to get it really overhead, right? Maybe some sort of tree pose variation. One more breath in, and then exhale and release. Let's do the other side. Right hand to center, spin over, open up, and kind of play with the variation in the legs that suits you. And release. Pause here in our plank pose, find that foundation, and then we'll meet in down dog. So how you get there is up to you. Let's all take a breath in and out. Inhale, lift the left leg and extend through the heel. Exhale, pull the knee forward into the chest and round here. Hug the thigh in, and then step the foot down. Widen if you need for your stance to get secure. And then inhale, rise up. High lunge. Right outer hip draws just a bit forward. Shoulders over hips. Take a breath in and out. Twist to your left. Right arm forward, left arm back. Gaze is to the side. Hug the low belly in. Feel that bit of pelvic tilt. Maybe tailbone drops toward the floor a bit as the lower belly lifts in and up. One more breath in and out. Let's inhale, return back to the front. And exhale, bring your hands down, lowering the chest over the thigh. Walk the back foot in, Parsvottanasana, straighten the left leg. Left hand comes to left outer hip and gently guide the pelvis toward the middle of the mat. Front leg straight and strong. Let's inhale, lift to a halfway position, nice long spine. And then exhale and release. Again, feel free to bring the floor up to you a bit for your hands. And again, if it's just one block you've got, maybe use that for the right hand. And your left hand can rest on the foot or shin. Again, it's just resting. You're not putting a lot of pressure or weight there. And see if you can surrender your chest, your shoulders, and your head down a bit more. Start to lift the gaze, lift the chest, bend through the front knee. Walk the back foot back a bit. But keep that same angle, like 1 or 2 on the toes. And then inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, settle the hips down and shoulders forward. Press through the outer edge of the back foot. Let that lengthen and strengthen the legs. That kind of pressure downward ignites the quadricep a bit more. We're hugging the muscles to the bone. Breathe in and out. Release back down. Step the front foot back. We'll move through our plank series again, but this time, let's come into the forearms, okay? Give the wrists a break, and we'll let the left fingers kind of point toward the top right corner of the mat. So your forearm isn't straight across, it's angled, and then pivot over, opening your chest and your hips, and then lift the right arm. And you can stagger the feet here or step the foot down. Feel free to play with those same No variations, but lift the left hip away. And then release. Let's find the other side. So right forearm comes down. Fingers point toward the top left corner of the mat. And you're spinning open here. Start to release. Come back to your forearms. Let's link the fingers here, but let your pinkies kind of release so you have a little flat edge on your mat. Walk your toes in, lifting your hips over your head, moving into dolphin pose. Press through the forearms, activate the biceps, let your head rest between your arms, breathe in, and then breathe out. Walk your feet back out, forearm plank. Pause here, hug the belly in, press down through the forearms. Feel your shoulder blades kind of wrap down toward the sides of your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Walk your toes in, lift your hips up. Pause when you've met the limit. Keep pressing down. And then walk the feet back out. Pause. One breath in. And then exhale, let your knees release down. And let your arms release out in front of you for puppy pose. Take a few breaths here. One more breath in and out. And then start to lift a bit, but we're just going to bring ourselves down onto our bellies and up into Sphinx pose. So up onto the forearms, palms down, elbows just ahead of the shoulders. Press down through your forearms. Let your hips get heavy and let the tops of your feet press down too. Your legs can just be heavy here, letting gravity do the work kind of in the low body. But we're a little bit more active in the upper body here. So again, press through the palms and forearms, giving yourself some extension in the spine. See if you can let the shoulders shrug down. Okay. And then pull back gently like you're clawing at your mat. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Chest opens a bit more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let your chin drop into your chest. Keep that kind of downward pressure and back pressure as well, that kind of pulling back. Let's take another breath in and out. And then let's release kind of completely, come into alligator pose, hands together, head on the hands. Lift your feet, let your feet rock from side to side, windshield wipers. Release your feet back down, start to lift yourself up, peeling yourself away. Come back to your kind of crouch child's pose here. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, lift ourselves up into downward facing dog. Let's take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Seal the lips, breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Look up toward your hand. Step, walk, or hop your feet forward and find your strap. Have that nearby. First, we'll take a halfway lift, rising. Hands come to the thighs, shoulders come onto the back. Draw the belly in. And exhale, release, forward bend. Let's take another breath in and out. Bend the knees, press down through the feet. Let's inhale, root to rise. Bring the arms out, around, and overhead. Palms come down in front of the heart. Great. Come into a bit of a standing series here. Turn toward you guys. Let's start to shift over to the left side. And you can grab your strap here and just hang it over the right shoulder for a moment. But let your weight shift over to the left. Let your toes spread. Hug the quad muscle in toward the bum. We're active in the leg here. Let's then hug the right knee in. Okay. Wrapping your hands around your shin. You're taking some movement here in the ankle. Great. And then kind of steady that. Let's bring the strap around the foot. kind of ball of the foot. Take your strap together in your right hand and extend your right leg out in front of you. You can bring your left hand to your hip, shoulders back. And here's where if you're near a wall or like a bookshelf or something, that can be helpful, all right, for this left hand. Okay, right leg is extending out in front of you. Draw your right hip back a bit so it's in line with your left. And you can stay like this, or you can start to move your right leg out to the side. Okay. And if you need to adjust on the strap, you can, right, to help maybe lift the leg higher, or slide your hands out if you need it to go lower. Maybe you're not using a strap. Okay, you have your hand to your foot and it's out to the side. That one's less accessible to me. I end up scrunching on that that side of the extended leg. So that's why I like a strap, because I can stay nice and open along both sides of my body. Okay, maybe you're extending this arm out to the side. Let's take a breath in and out. And then bend the right knee a little, bring yourself back to center. Let's let go of the strap for a minute. Just drop it or hang it over your left shoulder. And let's bring the foot behind us and take dancer's pose briefly. It's almost as a release, crazy enough. Right hand comes to the inside of the right foot, thumb on the ball of the foot, and then kick into your hand and extend your left arm forward. Draw the right hip down and maybe kick into the hand a little bit more. Maybe not. And then bring yourself back up and release. Shake things out, shake arms and legs. And let's do the other side. So we can keep your strap there actually, because we're gonna ground down through the right foot, spread your toes, activate the leg, hug the knee in, shoulders back, right, and down. Take another breath in and out. And then we'll find the strap to the foot if you want to use that version, okay? So wrap the strap around the ball of the foot. Start to extend your leg out in front of you. Gather the strands of the strap in your left hand, and your right hand can come to your right hip for the next couple moments to get yourself situated here. So maybe you're staying with your leg just extending out in front of you. If you want to transition here, let's really make sure to plug the left hip a little back. Okay, it's like you're letting your left sitting bone come right underneath you. And then maybe move your leg out to the side. Doesn't have to go all the way, but that's your exploration, is opening. And then maybe right arm out to the side. But again, shoulders back and down. Breathe. And then start to release. Let's bend in the left knee. Help yourself come back through center. And let go of the strap. It can come down to the floor here. And then we'll find dancer's pose again, kind of as that release. So bend the left knee. Let the foot come behind you. Left hand goes to the inside edge of the left foot and thumb meets the ball of the foot. Lower the knee back down. It's kind of in line with your right knee. Let's lift the right arm up. And then exhale and hinge from the waist. Kick gently into the hand. That'll help extend the legs back and maybe help lower you a bit. But draw the right outer hip down toward the mat. Soft gaze and smooth breath. Slowly start to move in reverse. And then when you're stable, let things go, release, shake. Wonderful. Stabilize your feet, ground them both down. Let's inhale, circle the arms overhead. And exhale, bring your palms together and down. Close down your eyes. Let your thumbs move about an inch away from your chest, and then let your chest move toward your thumbs. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Let your hands release down. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Exhale, palms come to touch. Hinge from the waist. Lead with the heart. Fold forward and down. Plant your hands. Step your feet back. Let's just step back to downward facing dog. Inhale and rock your body forward to your plank pose and then lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck the toes, press down through the tops of your feet and your hips. Let's clasp the hands behind us. Okay. Let your knuckles draw back. You can let your head come down to your mat for a moment. Let's breathe in and out, just staying right here. Let's breathe in again, and then exhale, lift up. Let your knuckles draw back, let your toes reach back, hug your belly in. Let's breathe in. Maybe you're lifting a little bit higher here as you fill with breath and get a little bit more buoyant. Maybe you're rocking a little bit front to back. Keep reaching back through your toes and your knuckles. Draw the shoulder blades together. Let the gaze come down. Breathe in one more time. And then exhale and release. Untangle your arms. Let your left cheek drop down. Let your shoulders melt. Maybe rock your pelvis side to side. And then lift yourself up. Press into your hands. Peel yourself away from your mat. Let's find embryo pose for a moment. Let your knees go together and let your body drape over your legs. Head is heavy into your mat and your arms can rest down at your sides. And start to press yourself up. And let's move on to our seat. And we'll make our way down onto our back. So if you want to do that just by walking your body down, you certainly can. Or Navasana, final time to really engage and feel that core strengthening as we lower here. And then when you make it there, bend your knees. Let your feet rock from side to side. And then steady your knees. And let's bring the right ankle over the left. And we'll find figure four. So you can just stay right here. Or maybe lift your left foot and pull the left thigh in a bit as you press away on the right inner thigh with your elbow or forearm. Try to keep your skull and your shoulders down on your mat. And if that's tough to do, you can use your strap and you can kind of wrap it around. For this side, it'll be on the left hamstring that you wrap your strap around. So you can kind of loop that through. And you're pulling your left thigh in, and maybe you can still kind of press away with the right arm. It just sort of depends on where you're at with the strap and how long your arms are and all that. Let your left foot relax. You can even let your calf kind of bounce here, even if you'd like, or just roll with the ankle. Let's take another breath in and out, and then start to release. Let's switch. Right foot down, left ankle over the right knee. And then again, you can just keep the foot down or maybe hug the thigh in. Hands come to either side of the left thigh and press the left leg away. Right foot can release. It's the left foot that stays a bit active. And the skull and the shoulders release down. If you're using this strap, it wraps around the right hamstring or maybe even the shin. You could try that. That might work better. Just depends. Here too, kind of noticing our patterns, seeing if there's something that can change. And then release your feet. Let's find Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees wide, hands beside you, or maybe left hand over the heart and right hand over the belly. Close down your eyes here. Bring your awareness inside. What does it feel like to be in your body this evening after nearly an hour long of your yoga practice? And if you'd like, to stay here a couple moments longer, you certainly can. Or you can return to this as your Shavasana. But we'll do a few more things before we finish out with Shavasana. So let your knees come together. You can use your hands. Press your knees together and then grab one of your blocks. Let it be handy. Walk your heels back. Let's lift the pelvis. We'll come into a supported bridge. So slide your block. Let's keep it on the lowest setting. Slide it under your low back, your sacrum rather, the lowest spot of the low back, those fused vertebrae, the back of your pelvis. And just rest here for a moment, letting your pelvis get kind of heavy. And then start to draw your right knee in, hug your right knee in, and extend your left leg long. Really reach your toes away from you. And you can certainly let your leg bob up and down a bit, maybe it meets the floor, but then let it hover so that it's not just using the floor. You're actively reaching your toes away from you, so that left quad is kind of on, and you're really pulling this right knee in, and hopefully getting a nice opening across the front line of the body into the hip flexor, that psoas muscle running all the way in, deep in the body, and down into the hip. Breath in and out. Let's bend the left leg, bring it in, switch. So right leg extends out. Again, maybe find the floor. Kind of check in with where that's at. And then lift it, let your toes kind of flare and reach out away from you. And oppose that by tugging in this left leg. Kind of hug in around the shin. So actively reaching away with the right toes and drawing in with the left side. And our block is a bit of like a fulcrum here, a wedge, to help us go a little deeper in this hip stretch. And then let's start to bring the knees out over the hips, still using the block here as our wedge. Lift the legs up into the air for waterfall pose. And it can feel nice here to roll your feet, your ankles, maybe even the whole leg as a unit, feeling your femur bones kind of rotate a bit in the hip sockets, and all the musculature and the tissue kind of around the outer hips moving as well. Feel free to find stillness or continue with the movement, like making them even larger if you'd like. And then we'll all start to meet in the center. Let your legs just hang up above you. Let's breathe in here. And then exhale, let your knees start to bend, your thighs come in toward your chest, and then your feet can come back down. And let's lift the hips again, let the block slide away, and lower your pelvis back down. And from here, then we'll make our way into Shavasana. So if there are more poses you'd like to do, maybe happy baby pose, maybe a supine twist, go ahead. Whenever you're ready, you'll settle yourself into Shavasana, your final rest. That might look like a traditional version, right, with your arms and legs extended. It might look like something else. Maybe you're returning to Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe you're using your props to get even more comfortable. Wherever you are, even if you're still kind of in transition, take a deep breath in and an open mouth exhale. Let your body start to soften. The muscles can turn off at this point, and you'll let yourself surrender into ease. Right? Think about how all of that energy and activation we used in the previous parts of our practice required maybe a lot of thought and focus. We want to apply that same kind of diligent focus now to Shavasana. We're just shifting to a new part of the practice, and that is the rest, that utmost important part of our practice. So we're letting the muscles turn off, right? But we're keeping that open-heartedness, that centeredness, now on our rest. And if you've settled into a very familiar Shavasana, maybe take a moment here to smile and thank yourself for finding something that feels really comfortable for you. And maybe something is just not quite right? Maybe something's in the way, you can move it out. Maybe you want to add a prop in, and then you're really finding that ease. So again, noticing those patterns we find ourselves in, maybe smiling at that. It's never really wrong or bad to find those habitual versions of the pose, those ones that give us ease. But maybe just ask yourself if it's worth exploring a little more to find even more comfort here. If your eyes are not closed, let them close down. Let the features of your face soften. Let the whole back line of your body get heavy and kind of fall into your mat. And with your next exhale, imagine softening the whole front line of your body, your jaw, your chest, your belly, and your legs. Let your front side of your body drift down toward the back side of your body. If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana longer, you're most welcome to do so. And if you're ready to move on with your evening, start by bringing your breath awareness back to your body. Deepen the breath. Let it travel up and down your body. Start to find a little bit of movement here in your fingers and toes. Let it move up to your head. Let your face rock from side to side. Bend your knees and roll over into a fetal position, either side. Taking a moment here to recognize this connection with yourself, this reset in relaxation. creating a new launch pad for the rest of your night and your week, one that is based in kindness toward yourself. And start to press yourself up into a seated position. Take your time. You can rest your hands on your lap. Let's take a comfortable breath in through the nose. And a really deep breath out through the mouth. Seal your lips. Take a nice, long, smooth breath in up through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Exhale through the nose. Let it release back down. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head to the wisdom of your heart and lift your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows, sealing your practice and bowing to that teacher within, recognizing that wisdom that you hold to inform and inspire your own practice. And as we make our way off of our mats and into the rest of our evening, I invite you to hold on to that idea of open-heartedness and kindness toward yourself, and that idea of how we do anything is how we do everything. How can we apply the focus that we do in our yoga practice to the things outside of our time on the mat? Thank you all so much for coming this evening. It's been a pleasure to share this time and space with you all. Namaste. You can take a few moments to come off of your mat, really take your time, let yourself have that after yoga practice time that's really your own. And please let me know what's on your mind. If you have any thoughts or feedback at all, I'm always happy to hear it. And once again, thank you everybody for being here and being part of this community. Have a wonderful night.